Speaking of nukes, one of the funniest and saddest things that ever happened was when the famous anti-nuke activist guy from Japan who like survived the atom bombs, who's like seen as a figure for peace, came out and spoke out against Israel's genocide in Gaza, saying that Gaza resembles Hiroshima. Israel got mad at him and said he was anti-Semitic. I don't know what else to say, you know. Speaking of Israel getting mad at insane shit, let's cover two issues here, okay? Issue number one, Miss Rachel. Let's talk about Miss Rachel. You guys might know who she is. Miss Rachel is a wonderful beacon of light in a world that is otherwise very, very dark. She is a children's content creator. Miss Rachel also has a conscience. And of course, as a human being with a heart who can demonstrate empathy, Miss Rachel is very much against Israel's genocide in Gaza. There are beautiful visuals from Gaza that like the Gazan children have heard Miss Rachel's cries for help. And as a wonderful person, you know, there's like children in Gaza that watch her content. Okay, this is all she does. She's just like a very nice person talking about don't dehumanize, do not dehumanize the Gazan children, the Gazan babies that Israel's killing. You might think I'm exaggerating, but that's unironically what she's saying. Yeah, this is like if Israel was like Mr. Rogers is actually an anti-Semite and we must kill him. Like basically the Mr. Rogers of our generation. So what did Long Island's very own psychopath Leora Rez do? The person responsible for the Stop Anti-Semitism account that is also obviously funded by the same front groups that funds parts of the Israel lobby and also parts of Canary Mission as well. Stop Anti-Semitism post. Stop Anti-Semitism is calling on Attorney General Pam Bondi, to investigate if Miss Rachel is being funded by a foreign party to push anti-Israel propaganda to skew public opinion. Since 10/7, Miss Rachel has transformed into an amplifier of Hamas propaganda, broadcasting to 20+ million followers across her platforms. She's promoted a starving child from Gaza photo, which was actually cystic fibrosis case. Hamas false stat of 14,000 kids killed, 72% of death are combat-age men. That's literally not true. Fake cold deaths in Gaza. Photos circulating at this time online were of frostbite taken from Wikipedia while the temperatures were warm. Claims Israel is indiscriminately bombing kids despite Israel taking extensive measures to minimize civilian casualties. Accusations of Israel blocking aid in violation of Geneva Convention despite 1.7 million tons delivered. Is someone funding Miss Rachel? File a FARA complaint and help us get answers. Now, what's really funny about a demon talking about FARA violations when she is working for a foreign nation and may or may not actually get funded directly, but certainly indirectly from said foreign nation, is the irony is not lost on me. It's not lost on me at all. If I'm a defender of Israel, I'm never talking about FARA. I'm not reminding people that FARA even exists, because if there's one country whose defenders serially violate FARA, it's fucking Israel. So yeah, I quote retweeted it and said, Leora Rez, I think life would be so much better if you took your Klonopin while reading erotic fiction like the other bored Long Island housewives instead of becoming this Knesset-funded gang stalker for an apartheid you don't even live in. Monstrous ghoul, dude. This is the person behind Stop Anti-Semitism. She's the one calling Miss Rachel a Hamas sympathizer in the New York Post. Leora Reznichenko. This is what she replied to Ilhan Omar with. I am a fearless crusader for social justice and a proud Jewish woman. Yeah, New York Post article, by the way, talks about the propaganda that Miss Rachel has participated in. In a letter to Bondi, the group said Miss Rachel, who once focused solely on catering the children, has been incorporating Hamas-like propagated images and stories for her content. This is a prayer for children in Gaza. Please stop hurting them. Stop Anti-Semitism says the influencers posts are anti-Israel. These people are such monstrous little scumbags. But honestly, I don't want to course correct too much. I don't want them to recognize that they are perceived as monstrous scumbags, because I do really think that these kinds of actions genuinely cause people to despise them and genuinely cause the nation state of Israel to further become a pariah. It is the Rabbi Shmuley phenomena. Every time someone sees Rabbi Shmuley, and associates him with the nation state of Israel, therein lies another anti-Zionist. There is no way that you encounter Rabbi Shmuley being a repulsive little monster talking about how Hamas is cutting the titties off of Israeli women and playing soccer with the titties. Like, when you hear him say that, there is 0% chance you go, I'm with that guy. I'm defending whatever the his cause is. And 100% chance you go, I'm literally opposing whatever the you stand for. Tomorrow, you could come out and be like, I actually love drinking water. Everyone should drink water. I'd be like, I'm never touching that shit ever again. He is such a repulsive monster that I think he is a loyal soldier in the anti-Zionist cause. By the way, the thing that I said about Hamas cutting titties, that he literally did say that. He made that false claim directly on the Piers Morgan show. That is a direct quote, verbatim. Like, I'm not even paraphrasing. He said exactly those words. The sequence of words that I just said, he said exactly. But it doesn't end there. Here, we'll also cover this. Evidence is piling up. Pew poll found more than half of U.S. adults, 53%, including 69% of Democrats now express an unfavorable opinion of Israel, up from 42% in March 2022. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh, my God. You know what we should do? Defend Israel harder. That's what our politicians should do. That's what they should keep doing. This seems like a good cause. It's over. The project is done. It will be more violent than you could ever imagine, and it has already been insanely violent. But it's over. There is a lifeline. There's a shelf life to this, and it's at its end. Okay, what does the percentage look like among our politicians? 100%. 100% of politicians offer unconditional loyalty to the nation state of Israel, and 53% of all Americans have an unfavorable view of the apartheid state. At a certain point, this contradiction will worsen to such a degree that Americans are going to start despising their politicians even further. Propping this up is going to get increasingly expensive. The $100 million AIPAC spent last election will look like a bargain compared to the cost of winning when you're this badly underwater. No disrespect, but accept all disrespect. Israeli tourists can be really annoying. And I'm sorry, this is not anti-Semitism. Don't be like, oh, the Jewish state. You're saying, no, like, it's the same. If Saudi tourists, by and large, had the exact same attitude, I'd be like, yeah, Saudi tourists are insanely fucking annoying. And some Saudi tourists are fucking annoying, to be fair. Israeli tourists will literally go everywhere on the planet and act like it's fucking Israel there. They'll be like, oh, where is the IDF? We need to eliminate this Hamas person. No politic here. No politic. So yeah, I'm sorry if you think that you're in Jerusalem spitting on the person, but instead you're in Tokyo spitting on Japanese people who are demonstrating in favor of Palestine. Yeah, people are going to eventually go, you suck, dog. I don't want to be around you. Israel and its defenders are Israel's worst enemy. Yeah, here. This is Get out! Yeah, screaming at Japanese elderly people that are demonstrating in favor of Palestine in Tokyo, dude. What are you talking about? The world is not your oyster. Not everywhere is Tel Aviv. You can't behave like this. The f do you think you're doing?
Yourself. Shame on you. Shame on you, you murderer.
Murderer, rapist.
I don't want to see your kid and your wife. Your kid and your wife. Your kid and your wife. Disgusting.
They don't understand. I'm not a real being. They don't understand.
He said shame on you after I said it today. You're sitting here.
It's so crazy. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It is literally fucking mental illness. You just start behaving in this way. It's like transphobia, really. Like there are different levels of insanity that you reach. And the highest stage of this for transphobia is when you start transvestigating people, you know? The highest stage of this is when you just assume everyone and anyone is Hamas. and is directly responsible for doing Hamas. But that's what it is. It's just fascism. It's not this. There are historic examples of this. Think about your dumb hog relatives that like are hopped up on American exceptionalism. They behave in a way that's not dissimilar to this when called in the question. I guess like you have to be a little brain broken to defend Israel's actions, especially at this stage, so it's expected. But god damn, dude. Like, they're doing a BDS to themselves, you know what I mean? Like, they're literally just, they're so repulsive in their behavior that they unironically do a self-imposed BDS. I literally know an Ashkenazi anti-Zionist Israeli, and he's had Mizrahi counterprotests to tell him to go back to Poland. Yeah, no, that's the funniest part. And it's also funny because they align themselves with like non-Jews that are also deeply anti-Semitic, and that's how you create a attitude where Josh Hawley, who is a right-wing Christian Republican, who will then go yell at other Zionist Jews in a congressional hearing because they're not sufficiently on board with the mass deportation policies. Like, literally, liberal Zionist Jews that are like, okay, maybe the deportations are a bridge too far for me. It's giving Nazi Germany. And you got fucking Josh Hawley being like, shut up. He's like, shut up, Jew. I know better than you about how to defend Judaism in this country. It's like, what are we doing? I've said this before, but you have no idea how fucking depressing it is to watch direct descendants of Holocaust refugees supporting modern day Nazi tactics in America like one-to-one. There's not even an air of plausible deniability anymore. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how they don't see how this will inevitably explode in their faces. It's so dumb. Like, this is not the main point that I choose to make. It's certainly not like the most consequential harm that's happening right now. But the reality of the matter is, especially because, not because like anti-Semitism rising is not harmful, but because that in and of itself, while there's still institutional defense against anti-Semitism, is greatly escalating Islamophobia in the short term and in the long term, right? Like, there's direct deportations happening. It is just, it's still shocking to me that like liberal Zionist Jews and ultra Zionist Jews alike, like all Jews living in the Western world, not recognizing that they're on borrowed time in this like dangerous allegiance that they're entertaining at this moment. The notion that they think that they're not going to inevitably be in the crosshairs is so fucking stupid. Muslims and Arabs are directly under attack, so are brown people in general, more so than Jewish people, to be honest. Yes, of course, 100%. There's still no institutional allowance for anti-Semitism, whereas Islamophobia is not only permissible, but entertained and also promoted. White supremacy, Adam Friedland jokes about this. He says, Jews are still considered white. I am terrified of Jews losing white status, right? He's like, Israel is f***ing up the bag because now us Jews are going to lose white status. Like, we're going to lose our white status soon because of these guys. And he's right. I mean, he's joking, but he's kind of right. There's a lot of resentment towards Israel. And people associate Israel with Judaism because of defenders of Israel and haters of Israel alike. Like, the anti-Semites say Israel is for the Jews, and so do the lovers of Israel, and even Jews themselves. Imagine if Israel was like, we are ISIS, okay? And we're doing this for Judaism. This is what we're doing. We love doing this for Judaism. This genocide we're doing for Judaism, remember. And if you ever criticize it, you're actually against Jews in general. And this is all we care about. And this is the only thing we care about over and over and over again. It's like me running around being like, dude, are you kidding me? The Islamic Caliphate? It's fucking awesome. Why would you ever criticize ISIS? You are so Islamophobic. Like, it's like that. It's like if I was running around saying that shit. It's insane. It blows my mind. I actually saw this part while I was in the shower. Majority Report had a caller today whose brother went from being pro-Israel to misunderstanding history and reading Mein Kampf when they found out about the actual genocide. The conflating of Israel to Judaism is so fucking dangerous. They're making the dumbest people unironically become Nazis. Yeah. Her brother was also a Trump supporter, of course. So I think he's no stranger to like dangerous reactionary ideology to begin with, especially considering that he was pro-Israel to begin with. But yeah, that shit will flip so goddamn quick. I keep saying it, but seemingly people are too fucking busy complaining about people like myself. Anyway, on that note, as we await the end of the terrorist regime, or potentially the continuation of the terrorist regime tomorrow, I leave you on that note. I'm going to go hang out with my family.